Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends. Welcome to the JCB Live Wine Style. Today, we are with Danielle, and we're going to start with an incredible, zesty, and full of body cocktail. It's going to be exciting because it's all about sizes. The size matter, Danielle.
Absolutely, size always matters.
Ooh, are you sure?
Always.
So, knowing that I would be with Danielle, I planned for you the big size. So we're going not just for the big parties, because tete-a-tete, a magnum is never enough as well. What do you think?
I think you can never have enough bubbles, ever.
We totally agree. And having it in the bathtub is as well another great experience. We'll talk about that another time because this is quite an experience. But today, with Danielle, size matters, yes! JCB 21, of course, the best of what Burgundy has to offer. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, blended together as an amazing cuvée. 21 for the symbol of the history of Burgundy, the code of Burgundy, collect in the area of 21. And this is a méthode champenoise, as you know, traditional method over 15 months of age, and a very light dosage. So, it is very delicate. Danielle, why don't you taste first to let us know if it's going to be appropriate for your wonderful cocktail.
Perfect.
That's it?
It's going to be amazing.
Well, you might as well just finish the glass, right? We have a lot to go through today. Look at that.
We do. So, I thought we would try something a lot different and a lot of fun today. We're talking about summer entertaining and doing different things from the garden. So I have a little surprise. Yes. We are going to make, I'm calling them the JCB Gelees.
Gelee.
Gelee. In other words, Jello shots.
Which is amazing because the texture is so important in wine tasting or cocktails, so I cannot wait!
It's exciting. So let's get started. We're going to start with 1 cup of cold water and 1.5 tablespoons of Knox gelatin, which would be, if you buy it in the packages, it'll be about a packet, 1 whole package and then a half a package. And you sprinkle that over the water evenly, and you let it sit. And what happens is the gel starts to like absorb the water.
Maybe we want to get closer because this is a nice chemical transformation. Look at that. Slowly but surely, the water absorbs the gelatin is in formation.
Yes. So
I love those chemical experiences.
I know. So as soon as it's all absorbed, you're going to put it on the stove on high and boil it for about 2 minutes. And I have a hidden assistant over there that's going to stir it up for about 2 minutes.
And his wonderful name is Rafael, because after Danielle, we're going to do some Amuse-Bouche. Amuse in French means to play. Bouche is the mouth. So it's to play with the mouth. It's before a dinner or just during a simple appetizer. You serve to your friends little bites as you enjoy a glass of JCB 21 or Danielle cocktail, and you know, you just have little bites. And this is very French. From the 18th century onwards, we love what we call the Amuse-Bouche because it provides all kinds of different flavors, very small size, and really tantalize your palate, excites it, brings a lot of different flavors. So I would do a dinner just with Amuse-Bouche, so fun it is.
So I have diced up some strawberries. I have about a cup of strawberries here, and I have these little plastic cups which you can buy at any grocery store, or you can also, I've made it in loaf pans. You can do it like that, but these, you'll see why, these work the best for us. So we're just gonna put some strawberries in the bottom of each cup. I'd say about, you know, quarter, half full.
And the idea is obviously to see them through.
So we're gonna fill these up. You wanna fill some with me?
Oh, of course, Danielle. Whatever I can do to assist, you know. when I hear the theme of today, size matters, I'm really, really engaged into the thoughts of allowing our mouth to be enjoying different energy, flavor profile. And the more or less you put in your mouth, actually, the more you have flavor, the less flavor. I'm sure you put less caviar than strawberry, and it gives you a different mouthfeel, which makes it really, really fun, because the wine tasting, food tasting is all about mouth. Right, look at that.
Okay. So we have these done. Thanks, Rafael.
Oh, my pleasure.
We have our gelatin is heated on high until it's all completely dissolved. And then I'm going to add a cup of sugar.
Ooh, that's a big cup.
It's a lot.
Woo!
It's okay. And then we're going to stir this until all the sugar is dissolved.
We use organic sugar as obviously as anything else, from the flour to the sugar. Everything is organic. All those beautiful strawberries come from the garden.
Fresh this morning.
I mean,
along with the flowers, I have to spotlight a little bit of Joe's garden. Yeah, the zinnias, the sunflowers. Our garden here looks beautiful right now.
This is very impressive. The summer is the most gorgeous season of all.
Yes.
And those are so, wow, the aroma of the strawberry.
So we're all dissolved, and I'm going to pour it into a type of container that is easy to pour out of, since we have to get it into these little cups. So we're going to pour it in here. Then we're going to add a half a cup of 7-Up, right?
7-Up at JCB 21. We have a feeling we're in China here.
7-Up.
Because they love to mix it. In the old days, at least. Not anymore, but in the old days they were mixing 7-Up, a Sprite, with our wonderful burgundies, and they were getting acquainted to wine, and it's in many ways a spritzer when you think about it, so why not?
Then we're going to do 1 cup of the JCB 21.
Ah, so we're going to flavor the JCB within the gelatin.
Yeah. And if you pour it on the side a little bit, it's almost like pouring a beer. If you just dump it in, you're going to get a ton of foam, and it's going to take a little while for it to all settle down. So
you got to go gentle.
Very gentle.
From the side.
From the side.
You're so gentle, Danielle. Have you always been so gentle with your cocktails? Wow.
Yes. It's important.
Very delicate in the preparation. It's like slow food, slow movement, slow cocktailing.
Well, I learned my lesson with this. I dumped everything in the first time, and it all boiled out the top, and it was kind of a mess. So then you're going to pour in all your little cups right up to the top. And you'll notice it's pretty cool. All of the strawberries that we put on the bottom are going to float to the top. And you'll see why that's so important in just a second.
That's really so much fun. And you could use a bigger container if you want to make a cake out of it even. You could.
Right. And then you will flip it over and you can cut it into larger pieces.
And decorate it with little eatable flowers on top and make it a birthday cake. Well, mine is coming up, as you know.
We would never forget.
We're a few weeks away. Ah!
Okay, so we'll fill all these.
Great. That's really looking beautiful. Such a great idea. Could you do the same with raspberry?
You could. You could do the same with raspberry. You could do the same with blackberries.
Yeah, with blackberry, may be interesting to add a little vodka to it.
That would be really delicious. Actually.
Yeah, we should.
Or even gin.
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 With all the herbs and the aromatic flavors. It's such a great
lavender
idea.
in there.
All right, Danielle. Well.
Okay. So luckily I came in early this morning. And
are you telling me you've already made some?
I did.
So we're gonna have 2 rations, which is great.
Okay, so I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator.
And for how long, Danielle?
A couple of hours.
Oh, look at that!
So we have the finished product. This is, see if you can see how the this is all of the gelatin down here and the fruit has gone up to the top. So is what I've done to get these out is if you get a little bowl of hot water.
I see.
And just take a knife and just go around the side, but not all the way down. And then you sit it in the hot water for not too long because it'll melt and it'll turn into jelly, almost like a jelly.
You know, we should do it with my daughters. You know, they love you, and it's a scientific
They would have
experiment.
so much fun with this, yes.
Between the sugar, the alcohol, the foam, the coolness, the hot water. Here we go. You've done it beautifully.
Poke a couple of holes in the bottom.
Oh!
They come out and they're beautiful.
You see, it's good to have an assistant like Rafael in the kitchen.
So they're beautiful.
Wow.
So the fun part is you make up a beautiful platter of them, serve them to your guests, pass them at the beginning, kind of like an appetizer, kind of like a cocktail, and they're delicious. I'm ready for you to try.
Can I try one?
You can try one.
Well, I don't want to. I'm going to try this one. Dear friends, I'm going in. I was afraid of not feeling enough the JCB 21, but I am. There's little sparkles on the back end. The sugar is actually enhancing the flavor of the strawberry. And as you chew on it, you crack and you hear those beautiful emotional cracks. So all the senses are enlightened. I love it.
This is fun.
From the beauty to the taste. And which I love is, if you start your evening with JCB 21 or you finish it with it, you have it in both places.
Pairs beautifully.
We love it! Donnell! Congratulations!
Thank you.
So much fun!
Enjoy.
Now we're back in the kitchen. We went on the other side after Donnell's incredible recipe that's going to become a must to serve this summer. We thought it would be very cool to share how we receive, always at Raymond Vineyards, the Loach Winery, and of course Buena Vista, and on Wapo Hill with the finest Amuse-Bouche. Amuse, to play, bouche, the mouth. So to tantalize your palate before the main course or before dinner, and to really play with size, because size matters. You want little bouchée, as we call it in French. A bouchée is one swallow. Small ones, so you can have a glass of wine, your mouth does not look full, but you have a volcano of flavor. And that's the whole idea. So to pair this incredible first dish, which will be, Rafael?
The Gougere.
The Gougere. Many of you who've been to the wine world in the cellars of Burgundy have enjoyed Gougere. Why? This is something we actually use as a recipe between tastings. We don't like bread, we like Gougere, which is a puff pastry. Why Gougere? There's many recipes. So the Gougere was really started in the 18th century. So imagine Versailles and the beautiful Chateau of France. They would serve that as an amuse-bouche, breaks your palate, helps with bubbles, and certainly white wine. And this is a very exciting way, if you wish, to really bring the palates to the level of neutrality as well. The recipe today we're going to use is really much the one we perfected, Rafael and I, for how many years now?
You say 6 years, 6 years at least. We've been working it and this recipe, and finally, like for the last 3 years, we became a masters because it took us a while.
Yeah, so the Burgundy Gougere does not have cheese, but we love cheese.
Yeah.
So ours is a blend of Comté and Gruyère. If you want to push it the Jura way, you add Emmental, which is another great cheese of the Jura and Switzerland. Yeah. But we decided to really make something very special, which is a blend of a 24 months Comté cheese. So not to evolve, purposely we want that bite into the recipe, but not too overpowering.
Yes, exactly.
And the Gruyère, old recipe from Switzerland, from the town of Gruyère, to really bring the balance and the symmetry.
Yeah, so this mix of the cheese, that's what we say, we blend it because it's gonna give a perfect balance. And it's just gonna, if you do just one cheese, it's gonna, the content kind of like overpowers it.
Yeah.
Remember last time we tasted it, and we're like,
and it's too one-dimensional.
Yeah,
so paired with this, we thought we would have fun. As size matters today, a lovely can that we developed for and with our friend John Legend. So we're gonna cheer in a very different way. Look at this. We're going Crystal Passion Collection Baccarat, the most refined glass in the world today, with a simple can. John will be happy because this is what we drink when we watch him in concerts, because we cannot bring glass or crystal.
makes sense.
So let's have a taste of this beautiful south of France. Very crisp, vibrant, alive. The wine is harmonious as well, like John Sutton's. And obviously, it's called La Vie, which means alive. So talking about that, let's show our friend how we make Gougere. So today, you're getting the secret of your life. You cannot share it with anyone. We would have to come to your house and taste it to make sure it's approved by the committee that is here, who are the experts of Gougere.
Exactly. So with this recipe, we're gonna be, it's very easy. I always say easy and simple. That's my favorite word to say. But
very complicated.
very complicated. No, actually no. It's very easy. So we're gonna do with milk. Got about 2 cup and a half of milk. Whole milk, organic for sure. And this one, I'm gonna do the water. It's about 1.5 cups too. So this we're gonna put them in there. We're gonna do 200 grams, 224 grams of butter.
Ooh,
right?
Organic butter as well.
Foie Gras, which is, you know, is a very good quality of the butter. So this we're gonna bring it out to a boil.
Okay.
We're gonna stir it until kind of let it sit. Butter's gonna melt, bring it out to a boil, and then that's it. As we're gonna let this one, of course, cook
Happen on its own.
Yes, let it go by itself. John Charles he's gonna do some nice the quail eggs. I prepare some quail eggs. I talked to Joe last year. We've been working this project for a long time, and finally he got us some quails, little baby ones.
So we have baby quails at Raymond Vineyards and Wapo Hill, and they're giving us those beautiful creation of love and birth. And the whole idea for us is to create, when we do Amuse-Bouche, a theatrical scene. When you have guests coming over, you want them to dream, you want them to be transported on a journey, you want them to really try to understand who you are and at the same time how you eat, and you want to bring all the flavors into it. So this is why we always sing about all the elements: earth, sky, and the ocean. Yes. So here we have obviously the sky, because our beautiful quail have feathers.
Yes.
And we're going to add naturally the wonderful Oakville Grocery caviar, sturgeon, of course, and this is the Royal. So we're going to go very high end with a very unctuous and rich. 2 ways to go. You can make your quail eggs. Always use, of course, a oyster shell type of spoon. I'm going to do some with and some without.
Beautiful.
So this one is without. So we're talking ocean and sky. And then we're going to do some with the crème fraîche, which is the earth. The crème comes from the beautiful cow. So very gently, I'm going in with a little bit of cream. As you've noticed, not too much, because if you go too much, you just feel the cream and you don't get the full understanding of what the eggs have to offer. And here we go, some with, some without. Obviously, Rafael is always a painter with his plates, and as you can see, He does a marvelous job decorating.
You know, in the morning, this is like my favorite thing when I come to work. I'm like, I'm gonna go see what we have in the garden. Summer, so many beautiful things: peaches, zucchini, squash, kale. That's what we went and picked this morning. And of course, I'm gonna grab these eggs.
Well, and thank you for enchanting our eyes, because when we look at basil, we look at tarragon, we look at cilantro, we look at all those, we dream about what to prepare.
So we're gonna back up a little bit, and the quail eggs. Quail eggs, you're just gonna put them in the boiling water for 6 minutes. 6 minutes in the boiling water, and then you're gonna put them in. Set your timer for 6 minutes. So they're gonna go into the water. I have boiling water ready to go, and 6 minutes, and then we're gonna put them in an ice water when the time's run out, right? And after that, it's just the rest of the history. Just peel them. I'll show you how to peel them and all that. Very easy, simple way to do it, and then that's it.
And you know, when you screw up like what I just did, you just eat it.
So this is amazing what we're doing. John Charles is already working in the beautiful Amuse-Bouche quail eggs, and also I got my milk boiling, which, like I say, you have to bring out to a boil, and you gotta whisk everything, incorporate all the ingredients together. Once it's boiling, then you can add 1 tablespoon of salt. That it goes in. Whisk it in. Then I'm gonna put 225 grams all-purpose flour. Right? You're gonna stir it in. At this point, you turn down your fire.
All-purpose flour, organic.
Yeah.
And as you've noticed, we don't have anything which is plastic in the kitchen. It's all glass or porcelain, and all coming from Mother Nature and Mother Earth. I think it's very important to be very consistent. As you prepare your kitchen, if you have a philosophy of being true to the source, to Mother Nature, you want everything to be part of it in order to be, you know, really respectful of your philosophy.
So at this point, I have cooked the flour, like as you see. So this is where the pâte à choux. We're at this point the pâte à choux, and this, the next step we're gonna add. You're gonna start adding the eggs, one by one, and then we're gonna finish it with the cheese. If you have a KitchenAid, it's more easy. You're gonna more airiness of the Gougere.
That's right.
But for this one, I'm just gonna show. I mean, it's good to show for people at home if they don't have any.
And that wrist is very powerful.
And that's gonna be your workout.
I'm gonna tell you, oh! He killed me.
So this is it. So now I'm gonna go back to a fire. Sheet on medium here, of course.
So as you can see here, the whole idea with quail eggs and caviar is to have what we say again in French or in the language of cooking, a bouchée. A bouchée, you grab it, boom. You put it in the middle of your palate. It's umami because it explodes. And the explosion of the caviar with the quail eggs together brings a wonderful texture. So if you have JCB 21, if you have Provence Rosé, if you have even a red wine, it works. And that's the beauty of it. And you know, you don't need a lot of caviar. If you want to be, you know, frugal with what you're spending, you just need a small little container like this, and you still serve to your friends caviar, which is, I think when you're invited, a big deal to be able to try such sophisticated dish.
So this one, I have 400 grams whole eggs, organic, of course, from Raymond Vineyards. And Joshua is gonna help me pour them.
Yes.
One by one. So this one you wanna do one by one and make sure like stir it gently.
And it smells so good. Yeah. I wish you were with us because it's a very big deal.
So you wanna keep stirring, so you don't wanna like overcook your eggs. They will come strong when it's done, right?
And that's what I've done so many times. I've made scrambled eggs. This, and my mother is watching. I cannot tell you how many times she had me do this recipe, probably hundreds. Because as children, we were helping my mother as she was receiving, and we were serving Gougere in the cellar. And we were not just going out to the baker and buy them. It was a lot of fun as a family to do and for the kids to be engaged.
Just dump all of them, it's good.
But many times I did scrambled eggs.
Like the last time you tried to make a holiday sauce?
That was the same. It took me 4 tries to finally get it right.
Wow. You know,
But that's the beauty. It's like winemaking. It's all being settled. It's all being gentle, and it's all monitoring what you see and what is happening.
you have to be strong too for this recipe, of course. You're always gonna get tired. How's it feel?
There's muscle. There's power.
So now, at this point, I incorporate, sorry about that, I incorporate all my eggs. See how it's nice and gooey, and it's pretty much, you know, that's what you're looking for. At this point, I don't need the fire anymore. I'm gonna work in front of the camera, of course. And I'm gonna add the cheese. Like I say, it's a 400, this one is a 400 grams. We're gonna post the recipe, of course.
Yeah.
And 400 grams of blend cheese, Comté and Gruyere. And that's it. Just incorporate it until it's done.
Again, there's more cheese than flour, dear friends. We have 325 grams of flour, and there's almost the equivalent amount of cheese.
Yep.
Maybe I try a little bit because it's so important. And I recommend you put your pinky into it just to try the balance. Because often when we developed this recipe, Comté was too big, too powerful. And then it gives just a flavor profile that dominates all your other amuse-bouche. And the key is to have balance.
Yeah. So in this one, I have some already made. But I'm actually gonna show you if you want to use. If you don't have a pastry bag with a tip, you can also use a piping bag. Cut the corner on the bottom, and then that's it. That's what you're gonna use.
Practical way.
Practical. And then that's it.
You grab it with your hand.
You grab with your hands or spoon. I want to use a spoon. But this is the best way to do it. So you fold down your. It's a trick. This trick, you go like this. Hold your piping bag. Hold it. Open it. And then you come and what you do, you grab it with your hand, and it goes right in.
It's another sensual moment in the kitchen.
Yeah. Wow.
Donnell is watching, so we under strict observation. Whatever we do with our hands in this kitchen.
So
look at how gorgeous it is too.
Incorporate it nice. Close it.
And we're ready to go.
And we're ready to the pipe some Gougere. So bear with me. That's it, ready to go.
So maybe I'll remove this.
Yeah,
so we
remove
can
that.
See you.
Yes, with this. So this one I have another trick. You gotta put them in a parchment paper, of course, right? So what I like to do, I like to glue my sheet pan so that when you're piping, the Gougere is not gonna move. Right?
Oh, I see.
So the paper will stick to it. You glue it.
Very smart trick.
Right? And then you should start piping.
Are you sure you don't want a little glass of LV Rosé, maybe La Vie, maybe a little sip, Rafael?
And then you pipe.
It helps always, huh?
Yep.
You see how focused he is. So I personally recommend to go 2 centimeters. So you could go many sizes. If you go to a French baker, specifically in Paris, they love the larger puff pastry that you have as a major appetizer or in lieu of bread. We like them small, so they, like the quail egg, easy in your mouth, melt on your tongue, you feel the cheese, and you don't have to go back twice, because when you go back and they're warm, you cut it in half, it falls because of the oxygen on the air. So you want to make sure that it's a one little gentle bite. So
there we go.
Perfect representation here. Look at that. Very small, you know, 1.5 centimeters diameter at the most. And here they are ready.
They're ready. So for this one, you're just gonna grab you're gonna put the tip down, because when you bake it, you don't want the first thing to burn, of course, because they're gonna bake for.
If not, they're gonna go too high.
They're gonna go too high, so you're gonna press it down a little bit and put the tip down with a little bit of water. Boom, boom, boom.
A little nipple.
Nipple. You don't want the nipple. So then that's it. This one they're gonna bake in the oven.
That's actually how it's called in the baking world in France. It's like the bouchée à la reine, or it's like the éclair au chocolat vertical, the religieuse. So that's the actual name. And you see, it looks beautiful.
So they're gonna bake in the oven, depends on your oven at home. My oven, it goes for 360 degrees. No, 316 for 11 minutes. And then that's how you put them in the oven. So I'm gonna fire this up. And I have some already, some Gougeres that I already made.
Look, the miracle of time.
See, this is
So dear friends, I want to show you the most exciting thing on the earth. Look how beautiful they are. We're coming close. Oh, look at those two. They wanted to be together. Isn't it gorgeous? Maybe we should save this one for Donnell, because you know it's two eyes or whatever you want to imagine. But as we do this, I want to, Rafael, show how beautiful it is. So you don't want to cook them too much, and you want them to look like that inside. So there's different ways of looking at Gougere. Either you're full of cheese inside, and it's too much if you do a wine tasting as well, or this amount. And you could see Rafael did a great job. He really cooked them perfectly, so it's not too dense. Because then you're having the meal before the meal, which is not what we want. We want to excite the palate, so the Amuse-Bouche does its role of exciting you and bring the flavors that you're going to have as well at the dinner table.
This one, you can also cut them in half and fill out with anything you want. So it's like
Caviar.
Caviar, yes, they will go amazing.
Well, maybe what we could do is try and show you. We could put a little cream at the base. And I know it sounds excessive. You have cream, you have comté, you have gruyere, you have caviar, and maybe I'll put a little decoration. What about that?
Wow.
And see? Look at this. And this is the one with crème fraîche and caviar, which is wonderful as well because it's fun. You could be very creative. An obvious one that you've seen us do many, many times is with foie gras. Needless to say, a gougere cut in half, foie gras inside is divine. And we know it's allowed in California.
We should put a little piece in there.
Absolutely.
Sean, we should do that. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Because that's going to be the next tutorial, the next video. We're going to be making foie gras in the next, hopefully in the next week or two.
I cannot wait.
That.
So I think if we go and taste the next, we gotta bring our wonderful Buena Vista wine. Because the rosé was a lot of fun as you prepare it, and really exciting with the caviar, but maybe with the smoked salmon, there's a recommendation we may have. That is that beautiful bottle of Carneros Chardonnay, 2018, made by Brian Maloney, that magnificent Buena Vista winery, the first winery in the history of California. And I believe that Chardonnay is a miracle with Gougere and with the smoked salmon we're going to prepare for you in a moment. So Rafael, why don't I take two Gougere here, good ones. We're going to cut them in half, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just executing your vision. Voila. Voila. And Rafael, I'll let you do the rest because it's going to look beautiful.
Look at this. So this is a blackberry and fig jam that I make. First figs of the summer.
So excited.
For some reason, the figs are coming a little late today, but I was very excited to go pick some blackberries from the garden also yesterday, and then I made some blackberry and jam fig, which is amazing. And this goes very well with the foie gras, right?
Maybe we'll use the caviar spoon because it feels like caviar on its own.
Look at that right there.
That's a
camera,
great.
Right?
That shows you the versatility of Gougere, and it's puff pastry with cheese, so you could literally do anything you want. You could even put a piece of salmon on it.
And the creation. I want you to give the first one to taste it.
Oh, no! Give me more! More! More!
You gotta wait for this. No more.
God, he's tempting me and then he says stop. He sounds like Donnell now. You know, they spend so much time together. One is expressing itself like the other.
Yep.
So what we have here is why we selected the Chardonnay. Very powerful, beautiful bottle of wine. You know, the symbol of the history of California. California, Carneros specifically, makes magnificent, stellar, ethereal Chardonnay. And this is what you have here. Richness, opulence, but enormous balance thanks to the minerality and the acidity. So with each of those Amuse-Bouche, we bring every part of the palate together. Acidity, bitterness, salt, sugar, fatness with the foie gras, and of course the umami. Ooh, torchon! And I'm excited because now Donnell doesn't have to travel in other states to be the culprit she was or the entrepreneur she was. Now we're going to be able to make it again.
Yes. So we got the, moving back a little bit, I got the quail legs shocked. Like I said, put them in nice. It goes shocking. Shocked, you put them in there to let them cool off. And then from here, you just, all you got to do is just peel them. You just crack it a little bit and roll it. And then you just peel it. This one we don't have to peel them because they're already made, right?
Yeah.
So I just want
to show everyone. Always use the technique of the ice. If you do hard-boiled eggs, this is the best technique because the skin comes out. Now, in the Amuse-Bouche, I mean, alchemy of the senses, you've all seen, or many of you, The Last Supper. My favorite supper, if it was the last one. There's one more element from the ocean I love, or the river, is salmon. So today we've selected an incredible salmon that we make with Michel Blanchet. It's being, in fact, smoked with the staves of Raymond Vineyard's barrels. Whenever we retire a barrel, we basically send him the staves and he smokes it with those staves, which makes it obviously phenomenal. This salmon is actually from Scandinavia. So this is a Swedish salmon, purposely. Depending on the season, we do Washington State, we do Alaska, or Europe and Scandinavia. This is the case. And as you can see, he cuts it not too thin, but not too thick at the same time. So it's very easy.
And he used a technique, instead of you cut it like slice sideways, it goes all the way. So if you want to make a terrain with that, you just don't have to be strongly building all the small pieces.
We should show our friends how we make a terrine, smoked salmon and vegetables.
Yeah, we should do it. Yes, absolutely.
That's going to be the next one. So Rafael, show us how you've done.
So I have made of, for this recipe, the Bellini.
So it's not a pancake, dear friend.
Exactly, yes. So the difference of pancake and the Bellini is, so we're going to be posting the recipe, of course. So the difference is of this, that this one has yeast. And the pancake doesn't have it. So for the pancakes is baking powder, baking soda, sugar. It's almost the same process, but for this one is you separate your eggs. So you separate your egg yolks, and with the yolks you're gonna make a little mayonnaise. So you make that's gonna be your base. It's gonna make it nice and fluffy and make it taste delicious, right?
So it's a Russian recipe, hence the name Blinis.
Yes.
In the 17th century, the Russian came out with this amazing recipe. As you know, Caspian Sea with Persia, they were the one really harvesting beautifully the caviar, and they thought it was the perfect balance with the iode, with what you feel in the sea within the fish, to the balance of that little crêpe or blinis. You could call it in French a crêpe. It's a very similar recipe than the crêpe.
So this is the butter, as you see, it's nice and fluffy, nice and light, because it's like I said, we separate the yolks and the eggs, and then you're gonna whip your whites and fold them in, and that's when it makes it so fluffy. You let it rest with the recipe like 30 minutes to let the yeast activate, and another thing, it has less sugar and it's savory versus of the pancake. Pancakes are sweet, and but a lot of people call mini pancakes, and they're not.
No. So well, it's very important because I think you have much less sugar, and the whole idea is for them to be very light. Like the Aladdin carpet when he traveled, and when from one place to the other, you flow.
Yes.
And this is how the salmon needs to feel like. It's just be on a little bed, on a little cushion of Blinis.
So I recommend to have a squeeze bottle because it's very easy when you're gonna make this one. You don't want it with a spoon because it's gonna spread all over the place, and you don't want that, right? You want a nice and even, precise pancake.
So then you take your.
Then you get. I have a nice plancha. You can use non-stick pan, of course. Anything you have at home, just you spray a little bit. You can use clarified butter and wipe it out. But don't add butter. A lot of people like to use butter when as they're cooking, and they gives a weird texture, like almost like this line. So you don't want that. You want a nice, perfect, caramelized and beautiful color with them, right? So let's do this. These are then I cook fast. So I have the plancha or your cast iron of medium heat, and then you can go like as big as for this one, since it's smoked salmon. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
Yes, because you want to be able to see the pancake, all the different components and the colors, right?
That's right.
Build it up. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna make. You know,
and then I'll decorate one meanwhile.
Yes.
So I'm going to do the crème fraîche, of course.
Yes.
Because I think it really helps. I would love a little bit of lemon if we have, because it would be nice to have a little bit of lemon. And then I'll use my fingers, of course. Voila.
Wow.
Voila.
Do you went to culinary school?
Yes.
Yeah?
Let's decorate.
Decorate with some chives, you know.
Chives is always so nice with smoked salmon. And this is so easy to do before your guests arrive. All that in a matter of 45 minutes, everything is ready.
Yes.
And this is how we receive. And we love it because not only it's beautiful, it's eclectic. It brings all of the elements together, from the garden to the ocean to the earth, and bringing all the elements of what Mother Nature has to offer. So dear friends, we cannot wait to come to your house. Now you know what to serve us.